Hey yo, thanks for tuning into The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. For the last couple of days, there's been a whole lot of discussion about who the best female rapper is. So, today's question is going to deal with female rappers. So here it is. You're on a boat that crashes and sinks in the middle of nowhere, and you swim to a stranded, deserted island, and now you're all alone. Before the accident, you were able to contact the Coast Guard, but unfortunately they notified you that it's going to take them 30 days to get to you and save you. Now, you have enough food and water to tide you over for like the 30 days. And to your luck, the solar-powered CD player that you've had since the 90s just so happens to wash up on the shore. But here's the thing, you can only save one of the CDs above to help you pass the time while you're stuck on the island. Which CD do you save and play for the 30 days? You can save your favorite CD from any one of these artists. Eve, Foxy Brown, Missy Elliott, Lauryn Hill, Lil' Kim, Queen Latifah, Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Sexy Red, Ice Spice, MC Lyte, or The Brat. Whose CD are you gonna save? Let me know in the comments. Now, really quick, let me address something that I said in my last video that some people seem to disagree with. Because I said that Lil' Kim could smoke Nicki Minaj in a rap battle if her ghostwriter, the Notorious B.I.G., was still alive. And a whole bunch of people came in the comment section like Biggie never ghost wrote for Lil' Kim. And then somebody came in the comment section and said, Lil' Kim still can't smoke Nicki. Biggie didn't write her raps, girl. Oh geez, next you guys are gonna try to tell me that Lil' Cease wrote his own verse on Crush on You. Listen, I get it. You want to believe in the myth that Lil' Kim wrote her own raps, but that's not the case. Because not only did Biggie help her with her raps, he also wrote some of her raps for her. And if you don't believe me, perhaps you'll believe somebody named Lil' Kim. Check this out.
So, for those who don't know what you're talking about the dummy track of Queen Bee where Biggie is like
Biggie wrote that
reference. Yeah, but he used to write with me. He used to write for me.
But he showed you what how he envisioned the song.
For somebody, they go and record the whole song, and then you go and redo it in your voice. But there was a version of Biggie doing Queen Bee that like got out somehow, floated.
So essentially, what Biggie used to do is write some of her raps and then go in the studio and record them how he wanted them to be spit, and then she would memorize the way that he did it and she would redo it. And here's an example of him spitting one of them raps.
If Peter Piper pecked him, I bet you Biggie bust him. He probably tried to fuck him. I told him not to trust him. Lyrically, I dust him. Off like lead, hit hard like sledgehammers. Spit that platinum grabber. I am a diamond cluster hustler. Queen bitch, the green bitch. Kill a nigga for my nigga by any means, bitch. Murder scene, bitch. Clean bitch. Disease free, bitch. Check it. I ride around, melt in your mouth like M&M's. Roll with the mafia. Remember them? Tell them when I used to mess with gentlemen. Straight up for posses. Now strictly niggas that jostle. Kill a nigga for the figure. How you figure? Your cheddar would be better. Beretta inside the Beretta. Nobody do it better. Bet I wet you like hurricanes and typhoons. Got buffoon beating my pussy while I watch cartoons. Sleep till noon. Rap pen bridge here. Baby drinkers beware. Mostly don't see where. Frank kill niggas glide for 1.5. While you struggle and strive, we pick which Benz to drive. The mafia, you wanna be them. Most of y'all niggas can't eat without per diem. I'm rich, I'ma stay that bitch. I'ma stay that bitch.
Yo, y'all gotta understand that I don't share anything with you that I don't know. And when I say something, I have receipts to back it up. I mean those long receipts, like the ones you get from CVS. And to be fair, me saying that Biggie like Ghost wrote for Lil' Kim is not a slight, it's just the facts. But another fact is that Lil' Kim is always and forevermore gonna be one of the dopest female MCs to ever grace the mic. Now, check this out. A whole lot of people also disagree with me when I disagree with Azalea Banks when she said this.
Nicki wants to be a Rock Nation girl. Bad.
Okay, so let me really explain why I think that this is inaccurate based on facts. Not based on YouTube, not based on he say, she say, but based on facts. Jay-Z set up Roc Nation, which is a multi-service one-stop management group and label, so that he could share his expertise and wisdom with artists, so that they could emulate and recreate what he's done in the music business. Okay, Source, can you please play that video of Jay-Z explaining Roc Nation?
The reason we created Roc Nation was to be able to say, okay, this is all the information we gathered. Here it is, Rihanna. Here it is, Kanye. You know, whomever, right? Like, and just like here's the information. So if we achieve those goals at 36, you do it at 26. If we created a $1 billion company, you create a $7 billion.
We're giving you the infrastructure that we know works, but we're embedding it into you at a young age so that it works earlier for you, and that you can succeed and surpass what we've done.
Alright, so based on Azalea Banks-like theory, Nicki wants to be under Jay so that she could get that blueprint so she could do what he's done in music. But here's the problem. Aside from the Grammys, Nicki Minaj has already done what Jay-Z has done in music. Source, can you please pull up the statistics? According to the real data as of 2024, in his career, Jay-Z has accumulated 96 hits on the Hot 100, including featured credits, and he's also scored 21 top 10 singles and sold 45 million records worldwide, whereas Nicki Minaj has accumulated 132 hits on the Hot 100, including featured credits, and has also scored 23 top 10 singles and sold 100 million records worldwide. Now, maybe it's just me and I'm like over here and I'm bananas, but if Nicki has outsold Jay-Z by like double, then why in the world would she need Jay-Z to tell her how to sell records? Trust me, Republic is very adept at knowing how to blow up their artists and get them paid. But on the contrary, a whole bunch of artists like Meek Mills and Wale have jumped ship from Roc Nation because not only are they not getting paid what they thought they were going to get paid, but in some instances, they're actually losing money. Jay-Z's luster might lose a little bit of its shine. And believe you me, Nicki Minaj is well aware of what's going on over there. Now, aside from the fact that Nicki Minaj is currently putting up better numbers than Jay-Z, and some of his artists that are signed to Roc Nation are losing money, Nicki Minaj does not have to sweat Jay-Z because she wants to do business with Jay-Z, because Nicki Minaj has done business with Jay-Z. As a matter of fact, she was in a deal when he was doing a deal with Tidal.
I just thought about like how crazy this is, how this is like the beginning of the new world. Change the course of history. That was today.
The final frontier. Yes, the last stand. Town hall for creativity. Yes, with the most powerful. That inspired.
Very inspiring. Every great movement started with a group of people being able to get together and really just to make a stand.
Everyone here is, that term icons, but we all at one point were in love with music. You can't make it to what we've accomplished without having that love of music be the foundation. I think it's one of the things that sets us aside from someone that's a tech company that's selling advertisement or selling hardware. Right now they're writing a story for us. We need to write the story for ourselves.
If the fans can see that it's from us, that's so important. It's done. This collaboration feels so egoless. Everybody's having a conversation. We really do have an opportunity to change the way we all experience art.
We're going to come together and we're going to take a stand and we're going to give people quality and great things and great experiences.
We'll push the things that happen on the internet further along.
This is really musicians making music, and it's about music, and there's no end game.
Maybe it sounds like a cliche, but it's about putting art back into the forefront. It's about bringing humanity back to being an artist, not technology art. Human art.
I talked to a lot of different people outside of the industry, and everyone was like, what took so long? Like, this thing was the thing that everyone wanted and everyone feared. If these artists can sit in a room together, the game changes forever. And it happened today.
Alright, so aside from sitting in the meetings, Nicki Minaj also signed that paperwork to become a stockholder in Jay's company, along with Bey, Riri, Kanye, and Usher. Check this out. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Source, if Nicki is impressed to be a Roc Nation girl and she was also doing business with Jay-Z, then why in the world is she so salty with Jay-Z now? Listen, Nicki already told you that in her own words. Nicki told Joe Budden that she believes that Jay-Z is taking shots at her behind the scenes and doing underhanded-ish to try to slow down her momentum and undercut her numbers, which might be because her numbers are much higher than his. And in order to do this, he's propping up another female rapper like Megan Thee Stallion. Listen, sometimes people who are so used to winning don't like to lose in any category, and that's a personality trait that I think that Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj have in common. Now, if Jay-Z is doing this, his maniacal little plan is working, because Chart Data just tweeted out that Megan Thee Stallion's new song Hiss just went to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and after it hit #1, Megan Thee Stallion jumped online and said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, Mama Holly. Thank you to everyone that took the time out of their week to go hard and make this happen. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful. Like, Hiss is #1. Thank you for running it up, hotties. Let's keep going hard and staying positive. I love y'all. Now, I know, somebody out there is like, Source, you letting us down today because you still didn't tell us where the Jay-Z-Nicki Minaj beef originated. Look, I don't know, because I can't read Jay-Z's mind through those wannabe Basquiat dreadlocks. But the best that I can do, though, is to put you on to somebody who claims that they do know. Now, just so we're clear, I can't verify this dude's story, but I'ma share it with you so that you could be the judge. Check this out.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Heaven Hollywood. Welcome back to another installment of Industry Stories. You know where I'm from. I already told you how I was in the business over 21 and a half years, how I got in the business. We went through all that already. But here is the backstory that a lot of you have been asking about, and that is the issues with Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Desiree Perez, and Roc Nation. Y'all been asking for it. About to give it to y'all, so sit there, straddle up, strap up, whatever you want to call it, because this is the one. All right? Now, let's just kick it off. Let's go back as far as we can go back. When Nicki Minaj, first got into the game, right? She's, as we all know, she's signed with Young Money. She had a few deals on the table. Warner Brothers, which later changed to Atlantic, but at this time, there was Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted to sign Nicki Minaj. She was going to sign with Warner Brothers, but then she got the deal on the table, which was a much more exclusive deal from, Young Money, Cash Money. And then she also had spoke to Jay-Z. Now at the time, Jay-Z was still dealing with Def Jam, and he was creating, he had the Rockefeller, symbol, but he was creating Roc Nation. So Roc Nation was still young. You're talking about 2008. Now remember, some of my timelines might be slightly off because remember, I'm trying to do this off strict memory. All right, I don't really have no notes. This is just strict memory experience, right? So 2008, I believe, Roc Nation made, maybe 2009, and then, but Nicki decided to go with Wayne and Young Money in 2009, I believe. So Roc Nation was probably 2008, right? So she decided to go with Young Money, but ever since then, she had always, had a lot of respect for Jay-Z, because she was saying, if I don't sign with Wayne, then I'm going to sign with Jay-Z. Those are the only two people that I can really see myself signing with. Of course, Jay-Z was from New York. At the time, she was also interested in G-Unit, right? But going up towards, by the time Nicki had not signed yet, that was around 2009, G-Unit was starting to kind of like fizzle out, right? So, but she would have liked that because 50's from Queens and yada, 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 right? So she signs with Young Money. She always had respect, you know, for Jay-Z. Then, of course, you know, Monster comes out. I believe that was 2010. I think that Monster was released, I believe 2010. All right, so, and then Jay, of course, said, you know, that was a great, you know, Nicki Minaj was amazing on that record. He had not heard something, you know, coming like that from a female since Lauryn Hill. Right, so he was like, yeah, you know, yeah, she got something. Wayne got something. He got something with her. You know, that's a good look. You know, I was gonna sign her, but you know, she decided to go with Wayne, and you know, she made a good choice. So they always had respect for each other. Now, as the years go on, Beyonce and Nicki Minaj start to get a little closer. I'm going to assume that was around 2014, probably. Because I think the first thing that they did together was the Flawless remix, I believe. And that was around 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. I'm going to say 14. So they did the Flawless remix together. Then they went on to do a couple of, you know, other records. And they had started to, you know, hang out a little more, you know, at going to industry functions and stuff like that. Not more so coming over the house for dinner or go hang out. It was just more so like, oh, industry function together, or we'll have a party, an after party at an award show, and you know, we're gonna have a private room and you can come, you know, I want you to come through and what have you. Now, at first, when she first started dating Meek Mill, Jay-Z wasn't really for me. Remember, Nicki Minaj trusted Jay-Z enough that she even went under Jay-Z when he opened up Tidal. If I remember correctly, that was around when they first started having Tidal meetings, where around 2014, 2015. I think it officially opened around 2016. But you know, Nicki Minaj went into Tidal as a shareholder. Once he sold Tidal, I think before taxes, Nicki Minaj came out with about $8.9 million. That's before taxes. I don't know what they did. You know, most of the artists that came in at that time all ended with pretty much the same thing. And so she ended with about $8.9 million before taxes. All right, everything's all good. Now, her and Meek Mill break up, right? This is around the time where I believe things started to go a little south. She breaks up with Meek Mill. This is, of course, is not far from the incident with Miley Cyrus, you know, on the award show.
And now, back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good? Hey, we're all in this industry. We all do interviews.
So, Nicki Minaj did the infamous, well, the famous Yo Miley Was Good, right? And that was at the VMAs, I believe. So it was right after that, once the industry started talking and forming together and saying, listen, we can't support this woman. You got the owner of Disney Records going around hitting people up saying, listen, if you're going to support her, then we're not going to do business with you in any aspect. One of those people that he called was Jay-Z. Jay-Z at this time was at the head of the game of rap and music, him and Beyonce. That's why they call her the Queen of Music. You know, no blogger or anyone gave her that name. Clive Davis gave her that name, right? So she was known as the Queen of Music. Jay-Z was known, a lot of people, as the King of Music. So he was getting phone calls and emails from different record labels and different executives saying, you know, is your wife still cool with Nicki Minaj? Right now, Beyonce and Nicki Minaj remained pretty cool, you know, even after the Yo Miley Was Good. But Jay was trying to find reasons. Jay saw this coming on the pipe, and I remember back then, them saying he had a conversation with Beyonce, and it was like, I'm gonna paraphrase, of course, 'cause I wasn't there, but it was a lot on the lines of, she's on her way out. It's time you separate yourself from her. And then the Remy beef happens, and that's really when Jay told Beyonce to separate herself from Nicki Minaj because of that audio that Nicki was going to use as her rebuttal to Remy.
At this girl named Nicki, I guess you could say she was the rap queen. I met her in the studio lobby, but her booty looked bigger in the magazines. She said, B, will you jump on this song of mine? How could I resist when I heard little Nicki rhyme?
So Nicki Minaj leaked that audio, and this is what she was going to use on her comeback from Remy Ma's Sheetha.
Now, let me jump in and correct him real quick, because from my recollection, that audio was already on Tidal, so it was actually public. But as far as like Nicki wanting to use it for a diss track, that's a whole different story. But I digress, because this one isn't my story to tell. Alright, let's continue.
She feels as though, since Sheetha, had put a narrative out there, and everyone was like, oh, Remy killed Nicki. What's Nicki? You got 48 hours to respond, this, that, and the other. So Nicki Minaj was going to use that audio to help respond back. You come back with a response record, and you got Beyonce on it. Now, I don't know whether she's going to use that at the beginning or use that on the hook some way, chopped it up in the hook. Nicki was saying she was the rap queen. It was like, Rap Queen's Revenge or something like that. It was kind of like, the Queen's Revenge. I believe it was supposed to be called Queen's Revenge. But Jay-Z heard that and immediately contacted Nicki's people. And, he asked to speak to her. He wanted to speak to people, her people first, just to make sure that this was not their idea. And Jay was like, yeah, man, listen. I heard a little audio. I heard some rumors, street talks. But, don't involve my wife. Don't involve my wife in any of your nonsense. That ain't happening. So that was supposed to be the initial response. And Jay-Z shut it down. And that's why it took so long for Nicki to respond, and she came back with no frauds. But that was after the plan A had already went out the window.
After that incident, he goes on to say that Jay-Z told Beyonce to distance herself from Nicki Minaj. So he essentially forbid Beyonce from hanging with Nicki, and he ruined their burgeoning friendship, which actually hurt Nicki's feelings and caused her to have negative feelings towards Jay-Z. So he goes on to say that once Jay-Z blocked Nicki Minaj and broke up her relationship with Beyonce, she turned around and started throwing subs against Beyonce and Jay-Z in some of her bars. And Jay-Z didn't like that, so then he turns around and went on the attack. So like I said, I don't know this person who's telling the story personally, so I can't personally vouch as to whether or not his story is true. But I'm more inclined to think that it's true after seeing the shade that both the Grammys and Jay-Z threw on Nicki Minaj the other night. It was brutal. So here's what happened. First, the Grammys website mistakenly announced that Nicki Minaj had won her first Grammy when they posted, "Congrats Best Rap Song winners Barbie World from the Barbie album, at Nicki Minaj and at Ice Spice featuring Aqua, #Grammys." And then they turned around and were like, psych, we made a mistake. The real winner is Scientists and Engineers by Killer Mike. And I'm sure that Killer Mike was actually happy about that right up until a point where he actually got arrested at the Grammys. The cops came into the Grammys and put the cuffs on him, and then perp walked him right out of the building along with his Grammys. I mean, that right there is jacked up. They could have waited till after the show, especially since they arrested him for misdemeanors. I mean, it's not like Killer Mike was getting ready to go on a run with his 3 Grammys. They could have called that man up, told him what was up, and asked him to turn himself in the morning, and I'm sure he would have showed up at the police station. These dudes, man, it's crazy. Anyhow, after the whole Nicki Grammy debacle, Jay-Z gets up on stage, and when he's getting his Grammy, he says this.
I usually say this is a sippy cup for Blue. But Blue's grown up now. She doesn't take sippy cups. And she has her own Grammys. First of all, thanks to Dr. Dre. Said he in the house. He's somewhere. Up there he is. Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, you know, showed us that we can be rock stars. Seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Put us on covers, Rolling Stone. Put us around the world. You and Snoop, all that y'all did, all the records y'all broke. So thank you for this. Honored to accept it. Honored to accept it. And thank you to the Black Music Collective for all the work that you guys do. Scholarships for young creatives. And hopefully, you know, I'm adding to, you know, what you guys are doing out here. Obviously, it's great to have an award for such an icon. How far we've come with Will Smith and them, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince winning their first Grammy in '89 and boycotting because it wasn't televised. And then they went to like a hotel and watched the Grammys. I didn't even understand what it wasn't a great boycott. Yeah. But then, '98, I took a page out of their book. I was nominated for the Best Rap Album, and DMX had dropped 2 albums that year. They both were #1. Shout out to DMX. And he wasn't nominated at all. So I boycotted, and I watched the Grammys. I'm just saying, we want y'all to get it right. We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. We want y'all to get it right. At least get it close to right. And obviously it's subjective. Y'all don't gotta clap at everything. Obviously it's subjective because, you know, it's music and it's opinion based. But, you know, some things, you know, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. You know, some of you gonna go home tonight and feel like you've been robbed. Some of you may get robbed. Some of you don't belong in the category. Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth. But outside of that, you know, we got to keep showing up. And forget the Grammys for a second, just in life. As my daughter sits and stares at me nervous as I am. Just in life, you got to keep showing up. Just keep showing up. Forget the Grammys. You got to keep showing up until they give you all those accolades you feel you deserve. Until they call you chairman. Until they call you a genius. Until they call you the greatest of all time. You feel me?
Listen, I wonder if Jay-Z was saying that to the side chick when he was out there cheating on Beyonce. She deserves a good husband. She deserves a faithful husband that's at home. I mean, you got nerve telling the Grammys what they need to be giving Beyonce when for a long time, you, sir, weren't even giving Beyonce the respect that she deserves. Now, once we start ignoring that fact, now we can say that Jay-Z is absolutely right in this situation, and the Grammy should have been done gave Beyonce a Grammy for Best Album. Now, I don't know for which one, but at least for one of them. Jeez. Let me stop. Anyhow, after Jay-Z got off stage, after staunchly advocating for Bey, the the Twitterverse began a twittering, and some people began to say that not only did Jay-Z diss Nicki Minaj in his speech, but they also think that the fact that Nicki Minaj didn't get the Grammy was part of a bigger conspiracy. For example, one person said, wow, Jay-Z winning a Global Image Award, he's subbing Nicki. And then somebody else said, now you know, said in a way from multiple perspectives, but definitely shady, especially after earlier events. And then after that, when talking about Nicki Minaj not winning that Grammy, somebody said it definitely wasn't a mistake. My guess, they were probably originally set to win the category, and Grammy's Twitter page had all the tweets pre-ready to go. But after what went down last week, they switched the winner and forgot to change it on here. I mean, part of me is like, the Grammys wouldn't do that. And then the other part of me is like, yes they would. Listen, I don't even know what to think anymore, so let me know what you think. Do you think that Jay-Z is trying to use Megan Thee Stallion to undercut Nicki Minaj? Because when it comes to the charts, Nicki Minaj has one-upped them every time. And also, do you believe that the Nicki Jay-Z beef started because Jay-Z told Bey to stay away from Nicki after she wanted to use Bey's vocals on her original diss track against Remy Ma? And last but not least, do you think that both the Grammys and Jay-Z shaded Nicki Minaj on purpose? Or do you think people are reading more into it than there actually is, and Jay's comments were absolutely innocent? Let me know what you think in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.